Okay, what the hell? Jesus. Alright, I think I'll be able to do one dungeon, and then it's off to bed I go. Okay. Okay. Yes, some areas don't have foreground that X-ray doesn't reveal. Yeah. I didn't even know enemies disappeared off the screen like that. Whenever you... I do like this kind of design though. You know, where instead of being too cryptic or being too obvious, it just kind of it nudges you a little bit. I feel like Super Nintendo, this particular era of gaming really was like, that was the sweet spot. You know, not too hard, not too easy. You know, NES, everything was like ridiculously hard, but so there were a lot of games that were pretty well designed. You know, I've learned that, if I'm not mistaken, the randomizer on this game requires the Japanese ROM, so that's perfect. It's perfect for me because I can just simply use it as a patch on this console. All right, here we go. Here we go. Huh. Here we go. You know, I do sometimes wonder what video game development was like back then. You know, what was it like figuring out these ideas? because, you know, as an industry, video games were still a relatively new thing in the 90s. You know, of course, video games themselves have technically been around since, like, the 30s and 40s. Well, not the 30s, but the 40s, like the late 40s, with, you know, radar equipment. Yep. You know, it's funny. This enemy that was... This enemy that was pretty, like, prevalent in the original Zelda game is, like, just... Like, from what I remember, this is the only... This is the only time that ropes ever appear in A Link to the Past. I don't remember them in any other dungeon. Maybe Misery Mire, but yeah, I don't really remember them appearing a whole lot. I mean, granted, ropes in the original Zelda were harder to contend with because they were much faster. Also, kind of an interesting name for a snake, a freaking rope. I mean, that kind of makes sense, though. That makes more sense than the other names, like Keese for the bats. Although in the later Zeldas, they are a lot more. In Breath of the Wild, I should say, they're more visually distinct than just a regular bat. Here we go. Heart container. And the theme everybody knows and loves. You know the stream that got cut out says like an hour and a half. I thought I had started like at least like 7:30. I didn't realize I started that late. Although it does seem like Thursday. It does seem like Thursday nights are good for me to stream, so I think that might be the way for me to go. I would stream on the weekends, but you know, Shimo the Burb is already streaming those days, and by the time he's done, like, I'm high as a kite and don't feel like doing shit. I don't even feel like picking up a damn controller, much less streaming it. Alright. I love the simple but effective design of this dungeon. It teaches you, it teaches you by the way dungeons traditionally work, by kind of funneling you into yeah, but just funneling you into you know, the places that you need to be. Alright. Got me a compass. Also, I think it's funny how you can get bows, like you can get arrows in this game before you even get the bow. I think it's kind of funny. Like in a game like Ocarina of Time, you would never get an you would never get the perishables for an item before you get the item. You know, you wouldn't get arrows for your bow until you got the bow. You wouldn't get the seeds for your slingshot until you got the slingshot. I will say, playing this now has me kind of in the mood to resume my playthrough of the Ocarina of Time, that modded version with where the combat and the bosses are like way different. Also, that Star of David, it's actually worth mentioning that it was censored in the Western release. Ah! Shit. You fucking serious? But anyway, what was I saying? I'd like to resume my playthrough of Ocarina of Time, the modded version. Where the combat's different and the bosses behave very differently. You know, I barely remember this part of the dungeon. Mostly just because I always go straight to the left. Yeah, yeah, Ocarina of Time S Edition, the modded version I was just talking about. The bosses were friggin' tough. Like Baronade was like really hard because not only was his aiming, like he would lead his shots instead of just aiming. He instead of aiming where you were, he aimed where you were about to be. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do me a favor and get all your hair out.
Okay.
Out of the shower. It's all on the wall again.
Oh shoot! I forgot to. Oops. All right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And then in the seat hole too. Sure, I got that. It's just I don't want to like. Wow, there's a lot of hair. That's why I didn't want to go down. I don't use it until I edit my hair brown. I've been ran on them last night.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like snubbing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Sorry about that. Anywho. Where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, even the mini-bosses are changed. Like the Flare Dancer in the Fire Temple. Holy shit. Like, he's actually hard. Like, you have to... You can't just, you can't hookshot him while he's doing his thing like you normally could. You have to actually... You have to do it while he's moving around the room, which is a lot easier said than done. Yeah, it's not usually like me to get caught by those friggin' bubbles. Hate those things. All right. And here's just a way to get you the hell out of here. It's kind of scary, to be honest. Oh yeah, here we go. Man, I hate that they also take your magic. Here we go. Excuse me. Here we go. Oh, man. Okay, I'm actually kind of curious. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, the only way to damage it is with the... There we go. There we go. And I got the first pendant. How about that? Woohoo! Now, time for me to get the Pegasus boots. There we go. Okay. Bombs and rupees. Hell yeah. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be it. I would have streamed longer, but I gotta go to bed. You know, this is actually one instance where I'll say that the Western version is better than the Japanese version. Because, like, with the whole thing with the sword coming through the logo and the actual background, that's sick. But anyway, I think this will be it for tonight.